All right. Hello everyone. Good evening or good afternoon. According to anywhere you are. It's great to have you here today. This event titled AWS, Certified Cloud Professional Focus Business Strategies, is brought to you by the AWS Cloud Club at the University of Lagos. And we're really, really happy here. So by way of introduction, I'm Paul Abiroju, and I am the co-captain of the AWS Cloud Club at the University of Lagos. I am joined here today by my captain, Emmanuel Uni, and our speakers and panelists who we are honored to have amongst us. I'll just want everyone to go around and just to do like a brief introduction of ourselves before we kick off the event. Emmanuel, please introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oni Manuel, the co-captain as well for AWS Cloud Club.
I'd like to go first, second. Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Imo Etuk. I'm an AWS community builder and an AWS user group leader. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I was muted. Mr. Franklin Afolabi, please, you have the floor too now.
Yeah, I'm Franklin Afolabi, a solutions architect, and I'm also a member of the AWS community, AWS user group West Africa. And I'm delighted to be with you friends today.
Thank you very much, sir. We are delighted to have you amongst us too. And yeah, Mr. Byron J. Watson, you have the floor, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. My name is Byron J. Watson. I'm a solution architect focused on AWS. Also, I'm a member of the West African AWS user group. I'm a great friend of David Okoyote, and I'm looking forward to working with everyone here.
All right.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much again. We're grateful to have our speaker and panelists amongst us, and we're really delighted as students to have you with us. Okay. Before we go on, I would like everyone on the comments section. Actually, if you're on the comment section, please drop an emoji like. Okay, yeah. So, artificial intelligence says, "Hi everyone, good evening." Olabi Olushola says, "Hello, it's good to be here." Moses Adekombi says, "It feels good to be here." Yeah, thank you very much for joining. Team says, "A." Olabi Olushola greets everyone again. So yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. So yeah, wow, that's good. We actually have above 20 people now joining in. So that's really good. So without further ado, we'll be going straight into okay, before we go straight, I actually just even want to give like a brief overview of this event, SARS. So yeah, the AWS Cloud Club at the University of Lagos, we started a 2-week boot camp, right? In preparation for the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner examination. So this boot camp started about 2 weeks ago, and a lot of our students have enrolled for this boot camp, and they have been taking the learning materials there, and they're really excited about that. We even had like a quiz last week Friday, which was a very, very nice event. We had, we actually even had students arguing with, like they were really arguing about the answers, and it really shows that most of them went out of their way to actually study really hard for this examination. And they're really delighted to have you amongst us here because they have some questions and some clarifications that they would want to have, before they proceed to take this examination. All right, sir. So the next on our agenda is Mr. Imo Etuk will be taking the keynote speech. But before it starts, I just want to read Mr. Imo's biography or his bio. I know some of us met him earlier this year at the AWS Community Day as hosted at the University of Lagos, where he and David Okay, they were, they gave a very, very wonderful talk on the state of the community at that event, and the event itself was a superb event. So I'll be going over his bio now. So Imo Etuk is an experienced solutions architect, DevOps, and cloud security professional with a focus on multi-cloud. He's a Microsoft certified trainer, a Microsoft most valuable professional, that's MVP, and an AWS community builder. And he has over 15 active certifications across AWS and Microsoft Azure. He currently works as a senior solutions architect at IT Horizons Nigeria Limited, where he is responsible for designing Microsoft Azure and other cloud compute solutions for customers. He has his experience working with various teams, ranging from small, medium, and large teams. Over the years, he has designed and implemented infrastructure and security solutions that are highly available, scalable, and reliable, both in the cloud and on premises for different organizations. In addition, he has delivered free technical sessions at virtual and in-person tech conferences and meetups across various communities. He has collaborated with other community leaders to host free community-led tech conferences and webinars. So we can give your virtual applauses, everyone, as we have Mr. Imo Etuk give his presentation. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Paul. I'll call you Mr. Paul. Okay, Paul. Thank you very much for that introduction. So, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. Thank you for having me, and I look forward to interacting with all of you. And I look forward to you enjoying my presentation and also taking something home that will make you to scale through in your exam. Of course, is the cloud practitioner exam that you are preparing for. So let's go. Okay, so before I dive into the slide proper, I don't want to see this presentation as only me who will be doing the talking. It's something we're going to collaborate and talk. So I would like to ask, how many of you are already certified with the AWS Cloud Practitioner certification? If you already have the certification, just say I have on the chat section, so we'll be able to capture the number of people that are already certified. So now going into the section proper, AWS Cloud Practitioner is one of the fundamentals. It's only the fundamentals. So before jumping to that, let's look at the agenda we have. I will just walk you through briefly, introduce you to the CCP. It's called CCP, that is a Cloud Certified Practitioner, AWS Cloud Certified Practitioner. So we also have going to be looking at the overview of it. We take a look at the exam category, duration, format, delivery mode, cost, target candidate, then the CO1 domains versus CO2. How many of you are aware that the exam has actually changed, and the CO1 will be ending, I think, 18th of this month. You're going to also get to know that. So what are the CLF, CO2 exam topics? Study tips, managing exam stress, and I also recommend some useful resources that will help you to pass the exam. So the Cloud Practitioner exam, the AWS Cloud Practitioner exam, as I said before, is the foundational level exam that is meant for individuals who can effectively demonstrate overall knowledge of the AWS Cloud. That is why I underline that if you look at the color of that text, overall knowledge of the AWS Cloud. AWS has over 200 services. So as a cloud practitioner, as the name implies, if you work in an organization, you are expected to liaise with customers, discuss about the various services available on AWS Cloud, and that is a whole lot of work, and you need to know them. So that's why I say you must have this exam is designed to cover the domain of the overall knowledge of almost all the over 200 services I think are touched in this exam. So you must, it can be, this exam is also to validate a candidate ability. That is you. You are the candidate in this situation. You are the candidate here. Is just to validate your ability to complete the following tasks. You have to explain the value of the AWS cloud. What are some of the values of AWS cloud? When we talk about the values of AWS cloud, you should mention, or we should talk about, look out for something like scalability, being available everywhere you go, high availability. You should be talking about agility, ability to expand and collapse, ability to increase and decrease, ability to scale up and scale down. So that is why you need to explain the value of what is the business value of AWS cloud to customers whom you will be working with, because at the end of the day, why do you certify? You get certified so that you'll be able to apply that knowledge. You also understand and explain the AWS shared responsibility model. This is the first, in fact, when you talk about the security approach in the AWS space, the shared responsibility model is very key. And you should be talking about how you can secure the customer data in the cloud, while the AWS is responsible for taking care of the data of the cloud environment. They are the one handling that. So you should also understand the security best practices. What does it take to implement? What does it take to turn around the AWS cloud? What does it take to manage user access and all those stuff? The root account access, the IAM access, and all those are what are the pillars of security best practices when it comes to AWS. So also you're going to understand AWS cloud cost, economies, and billing practices. Every organizations are so much keen on the cost. They want to save costs. So as an AWS cloud practitioner, you should be able to have an understanding of AWS cost management, billing practices that will result in a high cost savings to customers. So you are going to also describe and reposition the core AWS services, including compute, network, database, and storage services. These are key, and you're going to be describing them, talking about them to customers. Your work as a cloud practitioner is not to design, it is not to build. Do not, you're going forward. Okay, am I taking too much? Okay, identifying AWS services for common use cases. So for every business scenario, there are AWS services that are suitable for it. Next, please. So exam category duration format, as you can see from the screen, we have this exam is categorized as the foundational. It can also be fundamentals. So the fundamentals exam compared to the associate level, compared to the specialty level, compared to the professional level, and all that. So this is the very first beginning in the AWS certification path. So exam duration, how long does it take? 90 minutes is the exam duration. You must keep to time. You must ensure that you follow through in this time. So exam format, it's usually 65 questions, either multiple choice or multiple response. You must take note of that. If you have exam that a question that has to do that 2 questions are correct, you must have the 2 to be correct for you to pass the exam. If you get one correct and fail the other one, you won't pass that question. That's the way it works. So there's also either multiple choice where you have to pick A, B, C, D, which option works. So the exam cost, because this is also important. If you do not have voucher to write it for free, you have to pay. It's $100, $100 US. If you convert it in your local currency, maybe in Naira, if you're in Nigeria, you should know how much that costs. So also test in person or online, the mode of delivery. It's usually a Pearson VUE testing center. You can walk up to the ones around you. I can mention about 4 around me right now. You can walk into that place after you're registered online and choose that center as your preferred choice. So online proctored is always advisable if you have a good connection, a good internet connectivity. If you do not have it, do not go there. It is not the best option when your internet is not stable. So also there are requirements. There are some regulatory document like a national ID card in Nigeria, or your international passport or your voter's card or your driver's license also work. So these are the means of identity to identify you. So exam format, did I talk about that? Oh, I've spoken about that already. Delivery mode, cost. I've talked about cost. So exam languages, it's offered in across all the languages listed on the screen. English, Japanese, Korean, and simplified Chinese, all those stuff are there. So of course, you and I are English speaking, English speakers, so we go for English. Okay, next Paul. So target audience, who are those designed for this exam is targeting. So the exam is designed to target candidates with up to 6 months of exposure. Underline that word, 6 months. Not that you cannot do below 6 months. You can actually take the exam. When I took my own exam, then I didn't use up to 2 weeks. When I took my cloud practitioner many years ago, so I didn't use up to 2 weeks to prepare it, to prepare for it. So you may not want to apply. Take my own approach. You might want to study for 6 months because it will actually help you. So exposure of AWS cloud design, implementation, or operations. The thing is that do not be intimidated when you see implementation. You may not the name cloud practitioner does not require that you implement, but due to organizational needs, if you work in a company and they need you to design, of course, you need to go the extra mile to know how to design as well. So now this certification is ideal for candidates who are from non-IT related backgrounds. It is ideal, even if you are coming from business management, banking, finance, or anywhere, you can take this exam. It's also help you in your career. Next. If you have questions, I would like to take questions before I move on. Paul, is there any question from the chat comment section? Let me access that. Okay. So now we have the domain for CO1 and CO2. CO1, as we speak, is going off. It's been I think it's been on for the past 6 years, and will be finally be retiring on the 18th of September. And you have from now till September, 18th of September to take the CO1 exam. If you have scheduled for it, you can take it. If you have not, I don't think they will allow you to schedule again at this time. I don't think so. Today is already 15. So I don't think, because I think we have up to 30 days grace period to schedule the exam before it is retired. So now you only take it if you have already scheduled. And on the other hand, the CO2 will come live starting September 19. And you can start registering and taking this new exam, all that. So another one is, okay, it's been live. I think is the exam has been live. Let me see if there's a record for that. Check this beginning. Okay, it will be live on the 19th of September. So now, having looked, inform you of when it will be retired and when the new one will come on board. Let's look at the domain. There are a lot of there are some adjustments in the domain, and if you can see the weighted percentage score for cloud concept has been reduced from 26% to 24% as we speak. And when you're going to see that in the official exam guide, go through that. The link will be shared to you. Then security and compliance domain has been increased. That shows you how security is important. It has been increased to 30 from 25. So we have technology, and this one has not just been increased. It's been renamed from technology alone to cloud technology and services. So it therefore means it's coming with some workload that you need to work. And the weighted percentage has been increased to 34 from 33. Then billing and pricing has been renamed to billing, pricing, and support. So only 2 domains has been renamed, and only 2 has some percentage increase from the previous CO1 exam domain. So the source for this material is Tutorial Dojo. I don't know, many of you have known about it. So it's always good. There are some fantastic courses and free courses from that website for you to take. So you can explore it after the section. So Paul, next. So now CO2 topics, CLF CO2 topics. Most of the time it will cover APIs, to also benefit of migrating to the AWS cloud, all those stuff I mentioned earlier. What are the benefits? Why do you need? Why will you advise organization to migrate to the AWS cloud? Majorly what you're going to be testing on. So storage, AWS support plans, migration and data transfer, AWS repos, AWS solution architect. So there will be some of the questions that you see in the AWS solution architect, but they will not be advanced questions. Then you also have some questions from the AWS support center. How do you handle support? And also AWS SDK, network services, talking about the likes of VPC and all that. But some of the, let me see something. I think some of this thing is advanced more than this level. But then the best place to go to in this for this particular slide is for you to go to the official exam guide. Let me see, I can get that and then walk through using that particular one. It will be more helpful than this. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to that screen right now. Paul, you bring up my second screen, and so you can walk through this. All right, so now this is the official exam guide, and we're talking about all this already. So go to, if you scroll down, and as you can see, this is the latest one, CO2. So it captures the content of CO2. So now you can see from here, domain one is the cloud concept. The value proposition of the AWS cloud, that was captured in what I explained before. When you propose it, what are the benefits? Understanding the economies of scale, cost savings, and all that. So all what falls under the concept, cloud concept. Paul, please, where's my time? I'm not going to, so I will be conscious of time. So understanding the benefits of AWS global infrastructure. So it's also important. All those things are what you're going to be seeing in the exam. So what I will leave you with this material. So on your own, you go and check it out and be able to digest it and understand this material very well. I would advise you, people do get involved in using a DOM to write exam. DOM is not helpful. If you pass the exam and not being able to defend your certification, it doesn't worth it. So I always advise people, there's no need to use DOM. Let your eyes and your hand be on the console. Go through the official study guide and take what I usually do. The thing is, I'll just copy this. I'll copy these things like this and paste on Google. AWS has the white paper for all these concepts. Once you paste this on Google, you see a white paper that comes out. And when I took my exam, I used white papers all through. Just paste this. You see it. You can only add, of course, you see material. Look at it here. It comes out immediately. So that is why this official exam guide is important. Just pick this and paste. Google will bring up the answer. We are in the age of AI, ChatGPT and Google Bard. Bing AI is also there. So you can Google this thing, just copy and paste. It will give you a more in-depth explanation. So that is why important. Paul, please go back to the other slide, the other screen. Okay, next. So we have the study tips, moving faster in this space. So what you need to do is that understand the exam objectives. What are the objectives? What is it that's expected of you? So if you go to the exam, to the study guide that I shared earlier, you see that the objective is what? You must understand the AWS cloud. You must also understand the shared responsibility. So they are there, validating your skill in this area. So AWS documentation and white papers, as I mentioned before, are your key material. So you shouldn't look outside for any other one. I think this is more than enough for you to pass the exam. So online courses and tutorials are also important. You can enroll in the free courses in the what's it called in AWS skill builders. You can get, I think let me share a link to a practice question on the AWS Cloud Builder. It's free. So the practice question you can enroll and just get it done for free. I'm going to share the link now and they will post it to you. So the link is right there in the chat. It will be posted to you. So now another one is online courses. Hands-on experience is also important. Most of you, I remember when we usually do user group studies series, we do give out some free vouchers, free credit vouchers, which we know that those credit vouchers are going to be helpful to you or to anyone who is preparing for exam. So we also have practice with AWS console. Go to the console. How many of you visited the console today? Hands up in the chat section. So another one is we have a AWS practice questions, practice exams. They're always available. I just pasted the link. So study guides and books, flashcards and note taking. Of course, when you are studying, if you look at my television screen, I'm actually pasting my flashcard there, pasting a notepad so that I take notes as I'm learning. So that's the best approach. So study guides and book flashcard, join AWS forums and community. We have a lot of community. We have AWS user group. We advertising AWS user group, cloud security user group right now for you. If you are not yet a member, join. There are a lot of experts there who are willing to help you. Then time management is key. Do not say 90 minutes is too small for me to pass the exam. It's not small. It's a very long time. So manage your time very well. Practice exam strategies. What are the strategies? Read one question. If you don't know, go to the next one. No need to waste time in one question. You can always go back to it. That's the strategy. Review and revise. When you are reading now, always revise. If possible, pair with your colleague who is also preparing for the exam. That is what I usually do when I was in the university. I study in groups. Choose a group of people and study, share question and answer. Everything. Stay informed. What do you need? I just inform you that the CO1 has been migrated, has been changed to CO2. So be informed in the exam field. Stay calm and confident. I can use myself as an example for this. I'm always very calm and confident in what I do. Either I know two things will come out of it, fail or pass. Either I fail or I pass. That's the way I see it. So it's not about starting to shake that, to be afraid. No. Have it at the back of your mind. It is either you fail or you pass. And failing does not mean that you are a failure. In fact, failing means that you want to try again and you want to do better in your next trial. So that is the approach of staying calm and confident. So now we also have, how do you manage the exam stress? Managing exam stress is very key. As I said before, staying confident and calm will help you. Preparation is key. You cannot, he who does not prepare to fail. There's no two ways about it. Either you prepare to pass or you prepare to fail. So now healthy, balanced lifestyle is key. Take some rest. Do not overstress yourself. When you take some rest, like I will use myself as an example, most time when I stay awake from this time as I'm speaking to you till 10 p.m., I might be tired, can take a rest at that time. Then get back up around 4 a.m. I can bet with you anything that you study from 4 a.m. to 6, it does not leave. So another one is breathing and breathe in and relaxation techniques also help. Do some exercise and all that. Positive visualization. Be able to have this positive mindset, and also anything that you do, make sure that if you are using maybe something like a lightning or screen, all those stuff shouldn't just be in excess. It must be within control. Mindfulness and meditation is also a way of staying organized as well. Then breaks and rewards, reward yourself. Sometimes even you study or when you win something, you're going to pass the exam. Of course, you need to reward yourself. You can actually buy one cold drink and drink. I think that's the cheapest thing you can do. So you can actually also stay positive in all. You know, what do I mean by this? Whether you pass or you fail is not the end of it. But your own target shouldn't be that you should fail. It should be that you will pass. So that is what it is. So another one is peer support is important. Let me mention of that. Form a study group, join communities, pair with someone who knows the time management is also one of the ways to manage your stress. If you are someone, I believe most of us are working, most of us are majorly students. So what you do is to be able to find time to manage time and all that. Then on the exam, they do not arrive late. I'm one of the person who is against people who goes to things late. If someone is saying your exam start by 9, it doesn't mean that you should leave your house at 9 a.m. You already failed by leaving your house by 9 a.m. So nobody makes you fail. You fail. So another one is I always told people that once you do any time is very important. Even when you want to write the exam at home, you must sit in front of your computer 15 minutes to the starting up of the exam because you need to check in and all that. So another one is stay hydrated and eat well. Do not starve yourself. The exam will come and go with either a pass or fail. So do not starve yourself. That is a focus on the present. What do I mean by that? Focusing on the present means that when you are doing your cloud practitioner exam, focus on that. Don't think of AWS. Don't think of the actual level first. Pass this first before moving on. One thing at a time. So now one is accept imperfection. Yes, it is not all the thing you get it right. There's something I talk about failure. Yeah, you fail and be able to do well. So post-exam self-care. When passing the exam, after passing the exam, what happened? Show care to yourself and be able to recoup, to prepare yourself for the actual level or for the work environment that you're going to face. Seek professional help if needed. There are lots of professionals that you can talk to that can help you in terms of job and various ways they can help you. Next slide. So now the material, I'm just going to copy all this, paste in the chat section. They are useful materials and are highly recommended that you go through all of them one after the other. So I will paste that in the chat section. Paul, next slide. Okay, I think I've come to the end of my section. Thank you for listening, and I would like to take questions. Okay, any question for me, Paul?
Yes, thank you very much for your presentation, sir. It was very, very, very educative. I'm sure we learned a lot from the session. So Emmanuel, please, I'd like Emmanuel. Emmanuel is going to actually take over at this point. So Emmanuel, please, you can continue now.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, everyone. It's really an amazing session from our mentor, Imo Etuk. That was really nice. I can still remember the last time I took the CCE exam as well. It was really intense as well, and I kind of understand all of that is going on at this time in time. So quickly before moving to the next agenda, we'll be moving to the panelist session, where we'll be introducing our panelists. So
sorry,
on the first,
Emmanuel, listen, before you get, there's a question. Yeah, someone sent a question to me. Yeah, directed it at Mr. Imo. So this person says that he wants you to clarify on taking the examination, the pros and cons for taking it virtually, like that is online, or going to a center to take it, and also how to locate a center around you to take it, sir.
Okay. Okay, let me take the question. Thank you very much for the question. So the pros and the cons, if you are taking it from at home, the pros is that it will save you the stress, number one, of leaving your comfort zone to walking down or taking a cab to the center. Of course, it will save you that stress. And also, it will give you this confidence because you are in control of your system. You know how it works, all those stuff. So another one, those are the pros. Then the con is that, of course, if you have unstable internet connectivity, the failure start from there. Because if you don't meet up with the about Pearson now approve about 6 Mbps for you to pass the check-in stage. So if your internet is not stable, don't try taking it from at home because that is the pros. It will, apart from the internet, I think the cons for taking at home is not many. Then for going to center, the pros is that you're going to have stable internet, someone is going to take care of you, sit you down, take your photograph and all that, scan all your document, and you won't have anything to do aside entering into writing the exam. So locating the exam centers around you, you can actually do a Google search. Number one, or most time, based on you use Google Map as well to locate exam center. And when you are registering this exam in Pearson platform, there will be location, there will be exam location that you can take, that you can search there and be able to select the one that is closer to you. One of the things for you to take note of is not to select exam center that is far from your house. If you stay in Lagos, of course, you know what that means, that you might be stuck in the traffic. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that insight as regards that. Quickly, we'll be moving into the panelist section because time is really fast spent. So we'll be introducing our panelists. Our first, we're going to introduce the first panelist in the person of Mr. Byron J. Watson. He's a seasoned senior solutions architect specializing in cloud adoption and security. He collaborates extensively with various teams to establish consistent cloud architecture design patterns, develop policies and procedures, and promotes secure cloud adoption. Byron's expertise extends to implementing cloud-native application protection platforms, enhancing security analytics with AI, ML backend data lakes, and securing the software supply chain through DevOps and runtime security measures. He is also prominent in automation, currently focusing on GitHub strategy to streamline and strategize cloud platform deployment. Byron's multifaceted roles underscores his vital contribution to the intersections of cloud technology and cybersecurity. Please join me as we welcome Byron J. Watson.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here as a panelist. And what I wanted to share was some additional information that Mr. Etuk had already provided. You're going to receive links and other access to different resources to help with your studies. What I like to do is just remind you to use some tools out there that's going to really help you apply some of the things that you're learning. So, for example, am I allowed to present my screen?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, sure. All right, let me share my screen. Let's see. All right. And let me see, please let me know if you see Bard here, bard.google.com. Yes?
Yes, we can see it now.
All right, great. All right, appreciate it. So Bard is a generative AI solution offered from Google. All you have to do is go to bard.google.com. So what I mean about applying some of the knowledge is this. Mr. Etuck is going to give you a list of web resources. You click on the link, you go there, read it. Here, it may ask, you can use this tool to now start to fine tune your approach to studies or even learning more about what you want to do on the cloud. Here is an example of me just simply asking a question. Ask me questions that may appear on the AWS Cloud Practitioner exam. So I'm using this tool to actually query me on some of the things that may be on the exam. So some of the things that Mr. Etuck covered was certain domains such as cost optimization that may, or cost billing, something like that when it comes to cloud foundations. So here you see certain questions. The main point, use tools like this that's going to give you a different ability to supplement your study habits by going beyond reading, studying, where now you're asking questions that's going to give you specific answers that allow you to keep growing and growing and growing on top of that. So another example was why use the AWS well-architected framework. Is recommending that you read it, you study it. I use it constantly. The question is why? So I just put that in, and it starts to talk about the benefits of using an AWS well-architected framework. Talking about the pillars, and additionally, if you want additional resources, it will give you links. But again, use this tool to do things. Recently, I was looking at how to create a social engineering defense simulator. It's outside of the scope of this chat, but to me, what I want to do is just, again, emphasize, reinforce some of your learning by using some of the emerging technologies. Everyone is talking about generative AI. Now you can use that to help supplement your AWS studies and cloud endeavors. So just wanted to add that to it, and hopefully it can help you achieve certain things. Any questions? Anything that I can be of help with understanding the challenge or what it's like to work in the cloud industry as a solution architect? I feel like I've been in this industry for like 200 million years, but it's more like 30 years, right?
Okay. So a quick one before I'll introduce the second panelist. Someone asked in the question chat box. My question is that can we use CCP to get a decent paying job in Nigeria, or do we need more certificates and skills? Sorry, I don't know if you get that.
Okay. I don't know. Byron, do you want me to respond a little to that? Or Imo would like to respond?
The question is, can we get a decent job? Yes, you can get a decent paying job in Nigeria or anywhere. And how can you get this job? Meaning, as a cloud practitioner, you need to have the hands-on skill. You need to do the practical. So you can only get this decent job if you have the practical knowledge of the cloud. There's no two ways about it. So if you don't have the practical knowledge of the cloud, I don't think you will get a decent job with CCP. Even when you have the associate level, if you don't have the hands-on skill, you won't get a decent job.
Yeah, thank you very much for that great insight. Moving quickly, I'll be introducing the second panelist for today's session, and the person of Mr. Franklin Afolabi, who is a solutions architect and a technical trainer with an AWS partner creating educational content. He's an enthusiast of cloud technology, always harnessing its usage for a startup organization. He loves transforming requirements from stakeholders to innovative solutions for IT teams that will satisfy end users. He is also part of the boards of trustees of a non-governmental organization with the aim of providing quality education and equal opportunity to the poor in the community, where he pilots the initiative of teaching cloud computing. Please join me and welcome Franklin Afolabi.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thanks, Paul, Byron, and Imo. Thank you so much. It has been a great session up until this time. And I think I will just share some funny tips. We've talked about all that is needed to study and all that is needed to test ourselves. But there are just few tips and tricks that I will just also share that will make you successful, not only in the CCP, but in any certification exams. Now, with regards to AWS exams, if you've read the exam guide very well, you will notice that AWS says some questions are unscored. For example, you're having 65 questions for your CCP. Some of those questions will be unscored. But interestingly, you don't know which one is scored and which one is not scored. So reading that line in the exam guide can be a distractor. It will be best for you to attempt all questions with the same seriousness. One more funny tip is don't omit any question. Don't omit any question. It's nice to really answer all your 65 questions. And why do I say so? Well, it's either a pass or fail. But you might be fortunate enough that your guess may be the best one and you get it, even for a question that you do not know the answer. Another funny trick I would like to share with you is the exam is 90 minutes. It's nice to be hydrated, but don't be overhydrated because you'll not be allowed to leave after even spending 1 hour to go and pee and return back. You will sit your 90 minutes for the whole exam. And yeah, this can really be tough for the professional exam that you're sitting for more than 3 hours. So it's nice to be hydrated, but please don't be overly hydrated for you now to start looking for the restroom. Well, for this session, myself and Baron, we will share some questions, some typical questions that will come that may likely show up in the exam or how the exam is being worded. And I'll also show you a few strategies to be able to have a good guess if you really do not even know some of the answers. I prepared about 4 or 5 questions that we can just quickly go through. I know if Paul or Emmanuel, we just like to show or share some of these questions. And these are a typical question will likely look in your CCP exam. All right. Now, while we had the speech, the keynote address, we learned that the questions can either be a multi-response or just a single response. So the question here on the screen is a multi-choice question. So you have to select 2. And the interesting thing is there is no partial grading for the exam. If you select 1 and you select the second answer wrong, you're totally wrong. The 2 must be correct. So I don't know whether people can chime into the chat. What will be the answer to this first question? Which credential components are required to gain programmatic access to an AWS account? You have to select 2. I'm sure the answers will start coming in. But there are just key things you need to look at in the exam. Reading the questions very well. For example, this question, something is key here, programmatic access. And this will differentiate what other answers will come into for. So understanding what is being required is a nice technique for you to be able to pass your exam. Now, if the question is just worded, which credential components are required to log in to an AWS account? You know, that's a different question. And the answers to will be different. So reading the questions in its entirety will really give you a full overview of what is being asked, and then you could select your answer. And I know many of us will have gotten the right answer to this, an access key and a secret access key. These are the correct answer. Now, some of the questions are worded in a way that it could be a little distracting. It could be a little distracting. And we'll see an example of one of those questions. Now, if you look at this question, it says, which AWS service identifies security group that allows unrestricted access to a user's AWS resources? You may not really know the answer. you may not really know the answer, which is possible. However, by a method of elimination, if you know what other services do, you might be able to have an educated guess. For example, if you know that CloudTrail is for logging, CloudWatch is for monitoring, and CloudConfig is for compliance, then you can eliminate these three and have it that it's your trusted advisor that will be the right key for this type of question. So by method of elimination, even if you don't know what particular service is doing the job, yes, you can, what you know, you can build on it. Now, here is a tricky one. Which of the functionalities are characteristics of Amazon S3? You really need to know what the service is all about at a high level. You don't need to know the real details about how the services are being implemented for the CCP. But at a high level, you really need to know what it's all about. Now, if you look at the keys here, some of them are real distractors. They are real distractors. You have an option one, a global file system, an object store, that sounds logical, S3 object, a network file system, a block storage, a durable storage system. And 2 and 5 looks so similar. And that's what S3 is for. File system, block storage. There are other services that cover that. Now, let's see a funny one here. And this can be lengthy. You might have exam questions that are a little lengthy like this, but there may be a lot of information that you do not really need. Reading between the lines will give you an idea of what the right answer will be. Now, I'm having about 4 or 5 lines here. Reading it out. AWS Cloud Club, University of Lagos wants to create a learning web application for students. The web app must give students the opportunity to choose a button that have the text read out loud to them. Which AWS machine learning service will meet this requirement? The very first sentence in this question is just a distractor. The key in this question is text read out loud to them. So if you are able to drill down to see, okay, what is the service that is required, then you should be able to select the right answer. Is it transcribe? Is it poly? Is it translate? Is it extract? Then you will know if you know what those services are for. And I'm sure many of us will have gotten it in the chat. That is Amazon Poly. And let me share a last one. Now you see, sometimes the answers can also be in statements. So you just don't have a one-word answer. And in this case, you have to select 2. The advantages of deploying application in multiple AZs. Reading through, I'm sure we'll be able to select which 2 are correct. So understanding what is being required in the questions is something that is really, really important. Now, one beautiful strategy also is there are some questions you may not fully know the 2 answers, but if you group the answers together, it may give you an idea of what is being required. And sometimes you might work backward from the answer to the question. Reading through the answers, thinking a little about them, you can have to go back to the question and see what the requirement is. And you may be fortunate to be able to get through to this. So I just said, let me share a little practice questions with you, and also to share with you things that you need to think about when selecting your answers. I will strongly recommend that you try and do a dummy exam yourself. Sit for the 90 minutes, maybe on your computer system, and try and answer 65 questions at a go. That will really be helpful for you to simulate what the exam really will look like. I know sometimes it might a little bit boring if you have to sit for 1.5 hours in a place, but just try it. Giving yourself that will give you more confidence to be able to approach the exam questions very well. Now, just a little wrap. In one of the presentation, Imoy took said, he said, stay informed. It's very, very crucial to stay informed on some of these services. I don't know whether any of us know that the network load balancer now can take security groups. This is something that just came in August 10. And it might be funny, something like that might come up in your exam, since the exam is coming on September. So being informed, knowing what is going on will really, really be important. So I don't know if you have questions.
That was an amazing session. That was an amazing one. That was so much value in there. And I really hope that most of the people in the community picked one or two things as regards that. So quickly, we'll be moving into some of the questions from the community. So one of the questions I have here currently is, so I'm directing this to you. What are some common challenges that candidates face when preparing for the AWS Certificate Cloud Practitioner exam, and how can they overcome these challenges?
One of the challenges is there's a lot to cover. There's a lot to cover. Imo said there are more than 200 services. And if you check your exam guide, you will see a whole list. Sometimes it might be close to 100 that will be in scope. But the good thing is you don't have to know everything. You don't have to know everything in details. So a resource that can help you is the overview of Amazon Web Services. It's a white paper. It's about 102 pages. I think they will share it with us in the chat. With that, check your exam guide. Look at some of the some of the services that might be tested. And that overview is just a paragraph or two. Reading through can give you an idea of what that service is all about. And that's all you need. So reading through, you can create flashcard about them. You can try to explain what you know about that service to someone who cares to know. Or you can even talk it out to yourself. That will reinforce your learning. So you can overcome that challenge of having it so bulky by trying to drill in down deep a little.
Wow, thank you very much for that insight. I'll be taking the second question, which I have here. Are there any practical hands-on experience or lab exercise that candidates should consider during their preparation to reinforce their learning?
Well, if you have a skill builder subscription, I do. The subscription on Skill Builder gives you a number of labs. For example, you will see how to do static web hosting on Amazon S3, how to build a VPC from scratch, how to launch your EC2. You'll be able to have dummies on 3-tier web architecture. So that is fine if you have Skill Builder subscription. But if you don't, there are a lot of free resources online also. You could just do a Google search. Brian also said you could use generative AI to ask yourself the question, what labs can I use for hands-on for my CCP exam? So that will be beautiful. But one more thing I will advise is if you have an AWS account, log into the console. Check out that service. You may not know what you're clicking around. Yes, try and do a little clicks. Look what the service is all about. You might be so careful not to create resources that will incur cost. Leaving your NAT gateway can incur you cost, and you don't want to be shocked when AWS brings the bill at the end of the month that you're owing $25 or $350. So be very careful of some of those services. But if you check on the AWS landing page, you will see services that are always free, services that are 12 months free, and services that are free maybe for a month. Try and explore those services. That will also give you the hands-on. When you see the services on the console, it stays in your mind. So with that, you have a little experience to reinforce your learning before the exam.
Wow, thank you very much for that. I'll be asking the last question I have here. Once a candidate successfully passes the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam, what does this certification open in terms of career opportunities and further AWS certifications?
Okay. The AWS certification guide shows there are different paths in which you can take. So it all depends on your interests. On the associate level, we have the developer associate, the solutions architect associate, the systems operation associate. On the professional side, we have solutions associate, solutions architect professional or DevOps professional. In the specialty part, we have advanced networking, database, security, SAP workloads. So it all depends on what your interest is. The cloud practitioner exam, I would say it is just like the UNILAG gate. It's opening the door for you. But now, when you get to that gate, you now see different halls of residence, different lecture halls. You also see different other opportunities. So, what interests you most? What interests you most will really be the direction in which you follow. A number of persons after doing the CCP wants to go to the Solutions Architect Associate because Solutions Architect Associate also gives you a broader view of the AWS services. And architecting is very, very, very important because with the Solutions Architect part, you will be able to dive in deep to see how many of these services work. But with the developer part, you are interested more in development on AWS. So if that's what you're interested in, you can go through that route. People who are interested in machine learning can go throughout that route. So there are a lot of career opportunities in AWS, a whole lot of career opportunities. I'll also share a guide with you that can show you if you want to be a solutions architect, a cloud engineer, machine learning specialist, what certs are important for you. But this is something we should take note. Certifications is just like a key to the door. Hands-on experience is the real deal because what you can do, that is what people are looking for. But the certification can help you to know which part to take, where you need to spend more time on.
Wow. So much insight. Thank you very much, Mr. Franklin. Really appreciate your time. Really appreciate you sharing this wonderful insight as regards the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner exam. And I'm really sure that the community took at least one or two things as regards what we've been discussing here this evening. I'll be adding over to Paul for the next session. Oh, speaking of it, okay, I think Paul kind of dropped. He's currently not in the meantime. Oh, okay, we have Fauzia here. She's also the core team member for AWS
Okay, can you hear me now?
Cloud Clubs. Yeah, we can hear you now, Paul.
Yeah, I think my network was I had network issues. So yeah, thank you, Mr. Franklin. Yeah, thank you so much for your presentation and for the answers to the questions. I'm very sure that lots of us here we have been able to pick a few things from what you said. So it was really informative. Even as regards answering the questions and the modalities and the things, the traps to avoid. And I mean, I learned a lot. So yeah, moving on now, we're going to the quiz section, as Emmanuel said. And Fauzia is our event lead. So Fauzia will be handling the quiz section. So yeah, Fauzia, over to you. You can present now.
Okay, hi everyone. So we have interesting questions for you. I want to know, am I audible? Am I audible enough, please?
Yes, we can hear you. But I'll need you to present your screen so that I can share it.
Yes, I will. Thank you.
So guys, are we ready for the quiz? There's a prize for the winner. Winner takes all. So I'm very sure. I don't know if we on the WhatsApp community. You know, we did a quiz last week. That was last Friday, and it was a really nice quiz. And you know that we gave the winners their prizes too. So yeah, just prepare, give it your best, right?
Yeah, I have shared my screen. I don't know if that is visible now.
Yes, we can see your screen. Okay.
All right, thank you. So, okay.
Okay.
Can I go on?
Yes, you can go on. But so please follow the instructions on your screen to join the quiz. Yeah.
So please go to menti.com. You can see it here. And then you are going to be inputting this code. So this is the code with which you are going to join the quiz. Or you could scan this QR code that you have here, and then you input the code. I think if you scan the QR code, you have to put the code again. Sorry. So please join. We have 3 people already. 4. Okay, so we have 5 people. We're waiting for you to join. 6 people now. So we currently have 6 people who have joined. It's 7 now. 8. Okay, we have 10 people who have joined now. Okay, there are 14 people on board, and we are going to be starting very soon. We have 15 people now. Okay, so we are going to be starting now, and I hope that would have more people join us before the end of the first question. So I'm going to be showing the questions. We have 20 seconds to answer each question, after which the answers are going to be displayed and we are going to be seeing the leaderboard. So yes, let's see who is going to be the champion today. I want to believe we are ready, and we are going to start now. So here comes the first question. Remember, you have to answer fast to also get more points. So which service can you use to provision a pre-configured server with little to no AWS experience? We have Amazon Elastic Beanstalk, Amazon EC2, AWS Lambda, and Amazon Lightsail. Okay, most people voted Amazon EC2, but the correct answer is Amazon Lightsail. So we are moving on to the next question now. Oh, sorry, we have our leaderboard, and who is winning? Who is leading? Okay, Alaide is leading with 889 points. Okay, let's see if he's going to be able to keep that or is going to get pushed. Next question comes now. Which pricing model should you use for EC2 instances that will be used in a lab environment for several hours on a weekend and must run uninterrupted? On-demand instances, spot instances, reserved instances, dedicated instances. Okay, time up. So yeah, most people got this right, and the answer is on-demand instances. So let's see who is leading. Wow. So Olaide is still keeping his spot with 1,697 points. Okay, this is interesting. Wow. Frosty was the fastest. You can see that here, but I think the person got the answer wrong. So let's see. We are moving on to the next question now. Which AWS service is used for analytics? So we have Amazon RDS, Amazon Elasticache, Amazon Athena, and Amazon S3. Which one is used for analytics? Okay, Amazon Athena, and that is the most voted answer. So let's see who is leading now. Okay, looks like this person is keeping his spot and he is not going to leave it for anyone. That is good. Okay, this time we have Chiwike as the fastest. Maybe he answered correctly even, and then he's coming up already. So let's see the next question now. Which service records API activity on your account and delivers log files to an Amazon S3 bucket? S3 events notifications, CloudWatch, CloudTrail, CloudWatch logs. It's like you people are seeing the questions before me, because how is it that I am seeing all of the responses before I even finish reading the question at all? Okay, so the answer is Amazon CloudTrail, and that is also the most voted. So let's see the leaderboard. What just happened? Hey God, I am the only one seeing this. It's a wahoo. This is a miracle. So Somebody has been moved. He didn't go to second or third position. No. He's now in number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 6. You people are not trying, no. You moved the champion down just like that. There is no problem. So maybe he's going to be able to get back up. Okay. Okay, so I'm sorry, we're waiting for the next question to come up, and that's on me. So this is question 5 of 10. What architectural best practice reduce the interdependencies between services? Familiar, services not servers, loose coupling, and automation. Okay, the answer to this is loose coupling. Now let's see the leaderboard. Who was on top just now? Okay, Sakura. Well, this is great. So Olaide is coming back up. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's now at number 5, and we still have 5 questions to go. So you never can tell. He could, get back up to his position. Let's see how it goes. So here comes the next question. Question number 6. Under the shared responsibility model, what is an example of shared control? Patch management, storage patching, physical and environmental security, service and communications protection. Okay, we have an answer. It's not the most voted this time. The correct answer is patch management. This is a shared control. So let's see the leaderboard. Who is leading? Can you see what I am seeing? So somebody is going back up, and someone else has just been thrown off the top. That's interesting. So Frosty, this person was just a number. Was that no number 7? I'll be number 9. Can I remember very well? Okay, no problem. This is very interesting. I like it. Also, question 7. Now, remember, you get points for the speech you answer as well. What is the most cost-effective EC2 pricing option to use for a non-critical overnight workload? On-demand spots, reserved, dedicated hosts. Wow. So here the keyword was non-critical, and the answer is spot instance. So let's see. Let's see the leaderboard. Olix has asked how. When did he enter here? Because I've not even been taking note of this name. All right, no problem. So Olaide is still keeping number 3. And now nowhere, because I don't even know where I was seen his name before, so I don't know how he's now at the top. Talk about somebody coming from behind. Because me, I didn't see it though. That's the problem. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Question 8. Moment, we are waiting for. Okay, sorry about the break in transmission. We are moving on to the next question now.
Fauziya, are you there?
Yes, I am. I'm just not sure if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you at
I
this
am
moment.
here. Okay,
Okay.
okay. I think I'm back now. I had a short network problem.
Okay. Sorry, guys. We're back now.
That's for procedure and get it turned off. I just don't.
I'm really sorry about the break in transmission. I believe we are now back online. So, which type of elastic load balancer operates at the connection layer? Is it application load balancer, network load balancer, classic load balancer, or ELBs do not support targets? Okay, answer to this question is network load balancer, and that is the most voted. So let's see our leaderboard. Down, and Olaide is still third, and now we have Chibike topping the leaderboard. Awesome. So let's to the next question. That's question 9. Which of the rules below apply to Amazon S3 bucket names? Names must be unique across all of AWS. Names must contain uppercase letters. Names must be unique within a region. Names must be formatted as a DNS domain name. Okay. Most people got this right. Names must be unique across all of AWS. Okay, let's see our leaderboard this time. Okay. Okay, we still have Chibike at the top, and he also was the fastest. he answered the question first. Great. Let's see the very last question. The one that determines who the winner is. When instantiating compute resources, which is a technique for using automated, repeatable processes that are fast and avoid human error? Snapshotting, bootstrapping, fault tolerance, performance monitoring. Okay, we have our answer, and it is boot. The winner for tonight, for the quiz tonight is. Okay, let's see. And the winner is is who? Chibuike. Please clap for him. Give him virtual claps and someone said 2/10 and they tried. Yes, you tried so much. So Chibuike is our congratulations to the nights. You all are champions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Fauzia. Thank you so much for the quiz, and thank you for everyone that participated. As Fauzia said, you all are actually winners, right? But I just want to use this opportunity to, just encourage you to, study more and study harder for the examination. To practice questions as often as you can, right? So familiarize yourself with the questions that are being asked and how to answer them. As it was mentioned during the event today, some of the questions are actually designed to be quite tricky. So you have to read through the lines, and properly understand the question before you answer the questions. It has been a very, very great event today, and we are so happy for you all who were able to join us today. And we are very, very sure that you have learned one or two things as we went across this event today. So all the okay, firstly, Chimike, please reach out to us. I don't if you're on the WhatsApp community or if you're on our Meetup, just send me a message on Meetup or on WhatsApp, or on just send a message so we can get across to you, right? So that we can get across to you. So yes, it has been a great event today. And I want to thank you all again for joining in. And I hope you really enjoyed this event. So this event was live streamed. So we'll provide the link at the end of the event so that you can access the events on YouTube in case you need to watch some areas from the presentation from either Mr. Imo, Mr. Byron, or Mr. Franklin Afolabi. Thank you very much for joining in, and until next time, have a good night. Bye, everyone.